Hello there. What do you know about the theatre? You've heard of it in movies and TV as something Spider-Man's girlfriend did, or something little Arya Stark seemed to be obsessed with for the length of an entire season of Game of Thrones, or even just Rachel Berry's life ambitions in Glee. But where did it come from, really? Well, the first ever recorded instance of drama was found in ancient Greece in the 5th century BC. And here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that theatre in Singapore can be traced back to its pre-independent era, with Malay, Chinese and Indian cultural theatre being the most common form before British expatriates started putting on productions of English texts imported from the UK? Well, a rapid evolution of theatre forms and conventions have led to today's diverse range of theatre offerings. The theatre scene in Singapore today sees so many productions a week that one is likely to face a difficult choice because there are so many shows out there. Yet, while some theatre companies like Pandemonium and Wild Rice thrive with throngs of audience members filling up the seats in the theatre, a lot of other companies producing theatre may not share an equal size of that pie. This can be easily attributed to the promotion of the messages related to the specific show and how it might be transmitted to the intended audience. My team of intelligent researchers and I have found that students in Nanyang Technological University harbour misconceptions about the Singapore theatre with regards to its content relevance, affordability and quality. The poor sentiments towards the theatre is likely to be the reason youths do not attend theatre performances as often. The team has since taken on the issue of bridging the gap between the theatre universe and the audience members. We've just conducted a study to look at how messages employing different strategies could work on NTU students in order to bridge that gap. This study looks deeper into our selection process of the messaging strategy. It is a test to find out which messaging strategy garners the best results in improving the sentiment of NTU students towards the Singapore theatre. So who are we targeting? Well, being a pilot test, we have decided to target NTU students from the ages of 19 to 26. We conducted 6 message testing groups with 4 respondents in each group. Hence our sample size of 24. Wow, I can do maths! Well, 2 groups were exposed to the same stimulus to ensure accuracy, and we used something called the quota sampling as our method of choice. Sounds like a difficult term? Well, fret not. Here's my trusty table to show you the breakdown of how it works. If you're still not sure about how the table works, then fun fact, I feel the same way. Clearly all my assistants did all the work. But all you need to know is that this table ensures that the sample has the same proportions of the entire population, which allows the results to be generalized. We needed a good framework to help us devise our strategies. So I'm here today to pay a visit to Richard E. Petty, founder of the Elaboration Likelihood Model. Hi, do you mind telling us more about the Elaboration Likelihood Model?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
It doesn't matter. We'll just answer the question and we'll be on our way.
Very well. Well, the elaboration likelihood model suggests that all messages received by the target audience goes through a process of persuasion via 2 routes, either central or peripheral.
What determines the 2 routes you take?
Well, it depends on the perception of the topic by the target audience. So if, let's say, they have a high motivation or interest towards the topic, then they are more likely to go through the central route. And if, let's say, they have a low motivation or interest towards the topic, then it's more likely the peripheral route.
Right. And what's the difference between the 2 routes?
The main 2 difference. Well, if you're going through the central route, all you need is just plain information, that detailed information, and that's all that's needed for the message processing to begin. But if you're going through the peripheral route, you need messages with a heuristic cues, maybe like nice visuals or a lot of emotions. That's all that's needed.
Perfect! You can go back to sleep now. Let's go. So, what are the 3 strategies that we tested based on the ELM? Let's welcome Miss Informational, Miss Humanizing, and Miss Young and Wild. Now, Miss Information here is direct and provides information in a black and white manner. Her post will be mainly chunks of text just providing information on the upcoming shows such as where, when, who, and how much. Miss Humanizing, on the other hand, is inspirational and relatable. She provides the human element behind theatre shows. Posts by her includes behind the scenes and interviews with cast members. Last but not least, Miss Young and Wild, who is energetic, young, rebellious, and totally relatable. She will help to show theatre in Singapore in a youthful and exciting manner. Her posts are colourful, fun, and full of pictures showcasing the vibrancy that a theatre show can possess. There were 4 very simple steps that were carried out. So during each session, the first step was to have the 4 respondents use their mobile phones to log on to the online pre-survey. After finishing the survey, respondents were added into a Facebook group dependent on what strategy the group is being experimented on. The second step is for them to read all the posts in the Facebook group. Following that, when the respondents are done, the third step is that they will use their mobile phones to log on to the online post survey. This will then mark the end of the session, and after 2 weeks, a link to a follow-up survey will be given to respondents to assess behavior change and message retention. At the end of this study, we discovered that the Young and Wild strategy is the overall most effective in improving sentiments. Yay! All groups showed an increase in sentiments after exposure to stimulus, with respondents in the Young and Wild group displaying a whopping 16.59% increase in sentiments. Nice! We also found that Young and Wild best addresses the misconceptions that we want to tackle. Well done, Young and Wild! Well done! Here's a medal. Let's just cut to the visuals. Young and Wild showed the most positive change in sentiments in the areas of relatability, affordability, and quality. So, after analyzing all that data, the winner is Miss Young and Wild, followed closely by Miss Humanizing. And Miss Informational, on the other hand, lost by a mile. There, let's have you walk out. Yes, let's go. Yes, thank you. Okay, yes, thank you. As mentioned earlier, a follow-up survey was conducted 2 weeks after the sessions were held, and it was found that a behavior change did take place. And guess which strategy won? Yes, Miss Young and Wild. At this point, are you even surprised? As can be seen on this table, Young and Wild not only reported a whopping 62.5% increase in intended behavior change, but even a 12.5% change in actual behavior. So what does this all mean? Well, the elaboration likelihood model was useful to formulate our strategies beyond pure information. The peripheral approaches of Humanizing and Young and Wild showed greater levels of positive sentiment change. Based on our findings, we recommend that theatre companies targeting a similar demographic should consider investing in advertising that focuses on the peripheral route of elaboration. Companies aiming to promote theatre products to youth in Singapore can learn from companies like Pandemonium and Wild Rice to include fun videos and human stories in their advertising strategy. Similarly, campaigns run by the National Arts Council to promote arts and cultural events should be tailored to follow both central and peripheral routes of elaboration to enhance assimilation and improve sentiment towards the arts amongst youth. By extension, arts education should also allow students to learn through heuristic means and not only via a cognitive elaboration. We hope that our findings can be put to good use in the advertising and promotion of theatre and other arts and cultural activities, especially towards the youth in Singapore. Well, that's all we have for today. Goodbye.